Good morning. Welcome to zoology class. Today the topic is phylum Echinodermata. Okay, its general characteristics. Echino means bumpy or spiny. Derm means skin. Means echinoderms having bumpy or spiny skin. These are radially symmetrical. Equal units are arranged in a circle around a central disc. Many have 5 equal units, so we can specify that they have pentamerous radial symmetry as adults. Calcareous endoskeleton is present. Often we can see the spines. Okay. Next, distribution, habitat and reproduction. These are found worldwide. All found on the bottom of the sea. Echinoderms has the ability to regenerate new parts asexually. They also have separate sexes with reproductive organs in each arm. Seahorses, males, in seahorses what happens? Males give birth to the young ones. Sexual reproduction involves releasing gametes into the water. External fertilization. Unique features of Echinodermata. External skeletons. Presence of external skeletons. These are having no head. Usually have mouth on underside, means a boral surface or ventral surface. Anus is on dorsal side, means on the top of the body. Locomotion. Slow moving creatures. Most of them use tube feet. Tube feet means they use this tube feet as legs. Okay, in detail we will see how the tube feet will help in locomotion during the water vascular system of Asterias when we study. Okay, symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, common of free moving organisms. Radial symmetry, common of sessile non-moving attached organisms. Echinodermata symmetry, free moving and radial symmetry. Pentaradial symmetry, body radially symmetrical, 5 parts or multiples of 5. The body form of 5 types of echinoderms. See how sea stars looks. Sea stars are called Asteridia. Sea lilies are called Crinidias. Brittle stars are Ophiroidea. Sea cucumbers are Holothuriidans. Sea urchins are Echinoidea. These are different classes. First we will study class Asteroidea. Most of them have 5 arms from a central disc. Two can have up to 50. Each arm carries an equal share of organ system. Mouth is located in the center of oral surface, which is directed downwards. Includes sea stars or starfishes. See here the diagram of sea stars or starfishes. You can see the red, orange, blue color, other colors also. Okay. Next class, Crinoidea. These are most primitive echinoderms. Unusual in that the oral surface is directed upward. Bears a number of arms. Along the length of the arms are branches called pinnulae. Feather stars and sea lilies are examples. Okay, the same class Crinidia, most primitive, repeated it is. You can see the diagram. These are feather lilies. See. Next class is Echinoidea. Includes sea urchin and sand dollars. Okay. Body structure forms a round, rigid body which is movable. Spins and pedicellariae are present. Locomotion is by movable spines. Mouth is at the bottom. Anus is at the top. Spines are sharp, hollow, and sometimes contain venom. Okay. See, these are the examples. Next, Halothuroidea. These are also called as sea cucumbers. Similar body plan to a sea urchin, just stretched out from mouth to anus. Lies on sides, oral and boral surfaces are at the ends. Some excrete toxic substances as defense mechanism. Some expels gut and other internal organs out of the mouth or anus, called evisceration. See the examples. See how they are looking like. Next class is Ophiuroidea. Includes brittle stars. Legs proportionally longer and thinner than sea stars. Allows for better movement. Organs in central disc. Eat organic matter and small animals they find on the bottom. These are also look like sea stars only, but the arms are thin. Next is water vascular system. Before going to water vascular system, we study the detailed study of general morphology of starfish. Then only we can understand very well this water vascular system. Okay. There are too many varieties of species consist in phylum Echinodermata. Among them, the class Anthozoa is rich of species. Metridium magnetum is known as sea star or starfish under this class. Here some of descriptions about this. Phylum classification: phylum Echinodermata, subphylum Eleutherozoa, class Asteroidea, order Eusteroidea, family Forcipulata, genus Asterius, species also Asterius. Shape: the echinoderms present at a great diversity of organization. The original biradial symmetry is often obscured by a well-developed radial symmetry. The most striking characteristics of this group is their pentamerous radial symmetry. That is, body can be divided into 5 parts arranged around a central axis. The radially arranged parts are called antemeres. With the mouth at the center. The starfish have a flattened body which is pentagonal or produced into 5, 6 or even more tapering arms. Brittle stars have a small round central disc with 5 distinct, slender, jointed and flexible arms. Sea urchins are hemispherical, while sand dollars are disc-like with a cup-like central disc bearing 5 branched arms. Size: some fossils and dollars measure only 6 mm in diameter, whereas fossil granite had a stem about 22 meters long. However, the living echinoderms are moderate size. The largest starfish is Pycnopodia helianthoides is about 30 centimeters across. The shell of the largest urchins, Echinozome hoplacantha, has diameter of 30 centimeters. One sea cucumber, Synapta maculata, measures about 2 meters in length and 5 centimeters in diameter. Okay. Coloration. Echinoderms adapted various types of colors such as yellow, orange, brown and purple. The body has two surfaces, upper convex and darker side called the aboral and abactinal surface. The lower surface is flat, less pigmented and is called oral actinal surface C. This is left one is dorsal aboral abactinal surface and the right side one is actinal surface. Habit and habitat. Asterias are exclusively marine, bottom dwelling and benthic animal inhabiting various types of bottom, mainly in the littoral zone where they crawl about or may remain quiescent at times. Asterias fourbaceae is found equally on hard rocky surfaces, mainly in the littoral zone where they crawl about or may remain quiescent at times. Asterias fourbaceae is found equally on hard, rocky, sandy or soft bottom, while other species of Asterias are generally solitary but under certain ecological conditions, such as to avoid direct sunlight or excessive drying. Many individuals may gather at some place for the purpose of protection. Most of them are nocturnal, remain quiet in daytime and becomes active during night time. They move by crawling on the bottom, mostly at a rather slow rate. All sea stars are carnivorous and feed voraciously, and almost any available slow moving or sessile animals, chiefly on polychaetes, crustaceans, mollusks and other echinoderms. Many species of Asterias exhibits various types of biological relationships such as parasitism, commensalism, etc. Sea stars have remarkable power of autonomy or regeneration. Okay. Earlier, this regeneration power is shown in Coelenterata, again in now Echinodermata. Food and feeding mechanism of starfish. It is voracious, carnivore means eats more, always eating, prefers to prey on sedentary marine animals like clams, oysters, mussels, snails, crabs, barnacles, worms and even sea urchins and other smaller starfish. At times it also feeds on small fishes and injured and dead animals. Body structure. Oral surface. The side of the body which is natural condition remains towards the substratum and contain the mouth or oral opening is called oral or actinal surface. The oral surface bears the following structures. You can see here oral side. This is mouth is on aboral side. Esophagus, gonad, gonopores, ring canal, lateral canal, radial canal, ampulla, stone canal, madreporite, pyloric stomach, rectum, anus, rectal cecum, tube feet, skin glands, cardiac stomach, pyloric duct and pyloric cecum. Mouth is an oral surface. In the center of the pentagonal central disc is an aperture, the actinosome or mouth. It is pentagonal aperture with 5 angles, each directed towards an arm. The mouth is surrounded by a soft delicate membrane, the peristomial membrane or peristomium, and is guarded by 5 groups of oral spines or mouth papillae. Umbilical grooves. From each angle of the mouth radiates a narrow groove called umbilical grooves which runs all along the middle of oral surface of each arm. Tube feet or podia. Each umbilical groove contains 4 rows of locomotory organs, food capturing, respiratory and sensory organs called tube feet or podia. The tube feet are soft, thin-walled, tubular, retractile structures provided with terminal discs or suck. Tube feet or podia. Each umbilical groove contains 4 rows of locomotory organs, food capturing, respiratory and sensory organs called tube feet or podia. The tube feet are soft, thin-walled, tubular, retractile structure provided with terminal disc or suckers. Umbilical spine. Each umbilical groove is bordered and guarded laterally by 2 or 3 rows of movable calcareous umbilical spines which are capable of closing over the groove. Sense organs. Sense organs include 5 unpaired terminal tentacles and 5 unpaired eye spots. The lip of each arm bears a small median non-retractile and hollow projection. The terminal tentacle acts as a tactile and olfactory organs. At the base of each tentacle occurs a bright red photosensitive eye spot made up of several ocelli. Next, aboral surface. The side of the body which remains directed upwards or lower. The upper surface is convex or bright orange to purplish color is called aboral or abactinal surface which bears pyloric stomach, cardiac stomach, rectal glands, madreporite, anal ring, optic cushion, ampulla, anterior ridge, tube feet, gonad, ampullae, pyloric caecae, etc. Okay. Next, anus. A minute circular aperture called anus situated close to the center of the central disc of aboral surface. Next, madreporite. At the arboreal surface of the central disc occurs a flat, subcircular, symmetrical, and grooved plate called madreporite. Madreporite between the basic two to 5 arms. The surface of the madreporite is marked by a number of radiating, narrow, straight, or slightly wavy grooves with pores on them. Spines. The entire arboreal surface is covered with numerous short, blunt, calcareous spines or tubercles. These spines are variable in size and arranged in irregular rows, running parallel to the long axis of the arms. Papillae or gills. These are present between ocellus of integument are present a large number of minute dermal pores. Through each dermal pore projects out a very small, delicate, tubular, conical, finger-like, thin-walled, membranous and retractile projection called dermal branchia or gill or papillae. These help in respiration. Persillariae. Besides the spines and gills, entire arboreal surface is covered with many whitish modified spines like tiny pincers or jaws called persillariae. The oral surface also bears persillariae. Each persillariae consists of a long or short flexible stalk having no internal calcareous support. Okay. Next, the development of sea stars. It includes Dipluria, Bipinnaria and Brachynoidea larvae. Diplurilla larva or early Bipinnaria. First larval stage in all echinoderms is called early Bipinnaria. This larva closely resembles a hypothetical Diplurilla larva. It is believed that all modern echinoderms have been derived from Diplurilla like ancestors. Early Bipinnaria is an egg-shaped and bilaterally symmetrical organism. An anterior midventral ectodermal invagination called stomodium. Stomodium becomes continuous with archenteron to form larval mouth. Blastopore becomes the anus. Archenteron differentiates into digestive tract made up of esophagus, stomach and intestine. Uniform ciliation of gastrula is replaced in Diplurilla by two ciliary bands. A perioral band surrounding the mouth. The larva feeds actively on unicellular algae, particularly diatoms. Food particles are collected from the water currents produced by the arboreal or stomodial cilia. As larva swims forward with the help of perioral band of cilia. With the help of it, it rotates. Next, Bipinnaria larva. Diplurilla soon forms on its front side a large preoral lobe which becomes bordered by a preoral loop of cilia. Simultaneously, on each lateral side, it forms three lateral lobes which becomes bordered by a postoral loop of cilia. Pre and postoral loops arise by the silting of the perioral band of cilia. Larva thus formed is called Bipinnaria. It is bilaterally symmetrical. It swims and feeds freely and after some weeks transforms into the next larval stage, that is Brachyunaria larva. Brachyunaria has lobes of the bipinnarea develop into long, slender, ciliated, contractile structures called larval arms. From the preoral lobes arise three short and non-ciliated appendages, each ending in a sucker or adhesive disc. The appendages are called bipinnarian arms or fixing processes. Larva is now called bipinnaria. It is also bilaterally asymmetrical and swims and feeds actively. It gradually metamorphoses into small sea star. Echinodermata larval forms. No other group of animals has such complicated metamorphosis in the course of development. Development may be direct or indirect. In indirect one, larval stages are missing. While in indirect one, various types of free swimming larvae are formed. In each class, a few members are viviparous. So directly they produce young one of short brood pouch on the surface of their body. Development of larva takes place in a typical deuterostomious fashion. In most cases, the characteristics free swimming larvae developed externally, which are phylogenetic significance. Bipinnaria and Brachyolaria, I already told you in the starfish, and Bipinnaria, Brachyolaria. First one is Dipleurula. Next is Ophiuroidea or Ophioplutus larva. It is a free swimming in British stars. It is similar to Echinoplutus of echinoids. Only difference is former has few arms, later has many. The posterolateral arms are the longest and directed forward. After gastrulation, the arms develop gradually. Postoral arms are formed first. After 4, 10 and 18 days, anterior, lateral, posterior and posterior dorsal arms develop respectively. Ciliated bands accompany the arms edges. Internally, the larva contains coelomic chambers and archentron. Internal development proceeds in the same way as in the classes, while free swimming metamorphosis of the larva starts, there being no attachment stage. Tiny serpent star sinks to the bottom and begin to its adult existence. Echinoidea, Echinoplutus larva is formed after gastrulation. Gastrula becomes conical, one side of which flatters to form the oral surface. Stomodial invagination communicates with the archentron, and the gut is differentiated into mouth, esophagus, stomach and intestine. Blastopore remains as larval anus. Larva begins to form projections which develop into arms. There are 6 arms, namely preoral, antioral, antidorsal, postoral, posterior dorsal and posterior lateral. Next is Halothuridians having auricularia larva. After gastrulation, formed a coelomic sacs and gut, the embryo becomes a free swimming larva called auricularia larva. Within 3 days, it is transparent, pelagic, about 0.5 to 1 millimeter length, swims with a ciliated band, forms a preoral loop and anal loop. Internally, larva has curved gut with saxiform stomach, hydrocele and right left stomodial, some of them. Then Doliolum larva, it is transitional stage of auricularia, barrel shaped. Ciliated bands breaks into 3 to 5 flagellated rings. Mouth is shifted anterior to posterior side. Metamorphosis gradually acquires 5 tentacles. Next, functional podia, sometimes known as pentacula. Next, crinoidea, Doliolaria larva. Earlier we have studied in starfish. Hatches free swimming larva, 4 to 5 ciliated bands, apical sensory plate at the anterior end and provided with a bunch of cilia. Adhesive pit is present, apical plate in the midventral line. Next, ciliated band, stomodium or vestibule is present. Skeleton develops at this larval stage. After differentiation into prospective organs, larva attaches itself into the internal organs, rotates an angle of 90 degrees from ventral to the posterior position. Economic importance of echinodermata. Economic importance of echinoderms is considerable to man. The dried skeleton of echinoderms have been crushed and utilized as fertilizer on ground. These are rich in calcium and nitrogenous content, so they are used as food and lime supply for poultry. South Pacific Ocean and China, sea cucumbers are used as food by man. They are boiled and dried in the sun and sold in market. In America, sea cucumbers used especially in soup for several years. This is the sea stars, echinoderms. Next, we will study water vascular system in sea stars. See, this is water vascular system in starfish. Okay, the water vascular system is a modified part of coelom, otherwise called umbilical system, peculiar to echinoderms, consisting of sea water filled with canals and certain carpal vessels. Main parts of this water vascular system is first madreporite, you can see on the top, then it is stone canal, ring canal, ampulla, Tiedemann bodies, Polian vesicles, lateral canals, tube feet. Tiedemann bodies, Polian vesicles, lateral canals, tube feet. Okay, see here the diagram of madreporite and the lateral canals, ampullae, stone canal. Okay, second, stone canal, S-shaped canal walls are strengthened by a series of calcareous rings internally lined with cilia. Draws the seawater from outside into the canal. One end opens to the outside through madreporites and the other through ring canal. The lumen of the stone canal is occupied by a ridge with spirally coiled lamellae. Ring canal. It is a wide pentagonal ring-like vessel lying around the mouth. Next, radial canals. From its outer surface of ring canal gives of 5 radial canals enters into each arm. These canal runs up to the tip of the arm and ends at the terminal tentacle. Tiedemann bodies. Ring canal gives out interradially 9 small yellowish irregular or rounded globular bodies called Roseman or Tiedemann bodies from its inner margins. They rest upon peristomial ring of ossicles. They produce phagocytes. Polian vesicles. The ring canal bears on its outer side 5 pear-shaped structures called Polian vesicles. They are interradially arranged. They are supposed to regulate pressure inside umbilical system and to manufacture amoeboid cells of umbilical system. Next, lateral canals. In each arm, the radial canal gives out of two series of short narrow transverse branches called lateral or podial canals. Each lateral canal is attached to the base of a tube foot and it's provided with a valve to prevent backward flow of fluid into the radial canal. Tube feet. There are 4 rows of tube feet in each umbilical groove. A tube feet is a hollow, elastic, thin-walled, closed cylinder or sac-like structure. It consists of an upper sac-like ampulla, a middle tubular podium and a lower disc-like sucker. Muscle fibers are present in the wall of the ampulla and the podium. The tube feet are chief locomotory and respiratory organs of Asterias. Functions. Locomotion. Inner wall of water vascular canals are provided with cilia, bringing water into the body through the madreporite. Finally, the seawater reaches the tube feet and their ampullae. Ampullae contract the valve at the junction of the lateral canal and the tube feet prevent the flow of water into the radial canal. The water is forced into the podia. The podia are elongated and projected out through umbilical groove. Then the suckers are applied to the substratum. Tube feet now contract and push the body forward. The water from the tube feet is pushed into the ampulla. Hence the tube feet is shortened, the suckers are released. Then ampullae contracts. The whole process is repeated. Food capture. Tube feet also used to capture the prey. Suckers are used to open the shells of mollusks. Attachment. Starfish can be attached to the rocks by tube feet. Okay. So this is water vascular system. I think you have understood my class. Thank you for listening my class.